Have you ever wondered what would happen if the Ice Princess met someone who could melt her heart? Well, ChatGap just wrote the start of a story that does exactly that. And let me tell you, it's beautiful. The story is called Ice Break, Heart Melt, and it begins with Arin, a woman who keeps everyone at a distance, finding solace by a frozen lake. She's called the Ice Princess, not because she's royalty, but because her heart is guarded, her emotions locked away. The world around her is cold and still, just like she prefers it. It's predictable, a space she can control. She traces a crack in the ice, wondering if her own heart is just as fragile beneath its cold surface. Suddenly, her solitude is interrupted. A figure appears, walking through the snow. It's Niran, warm and full of life, with a bright red scarf and a thermos tucked under her arm. Arin's heart gives a surprise thump. She's annoyed by the intrusion, but when Niran asks if she can sit, Arin finds herself nodding yes, against her better judgment. Niran offers her a steaming mug of hot chocolate, made from her grandmother's recipe filled with lots of sugar, lots of love. Arin is taken aback. She isn't used to such simple, genuine kindness. People are usually scared off by her cold demeanor, but Niran doesn't seem to be. They sit in a comfortable silence, sipping the warm drink. Arin finds herself studying Niran, wondering what makes her so bright. Niran breaks the silence, asking why Arin comes to the lake. It's quiet, Arin replies. Niran agrees, saying it feels like time slows down there. This simple observation resonates with Arin, whose life is built on rigid control and routine. But sitting with Niran, she feels a strange loosening, a tiny crack in her icy walls. She asks Niran why she brought the hot chocolate. Niran's answer hits her right in the heart. Because, she says softly, I saw you out here once before, and you didn't talk to anyone. I thought maybe you just needed someone. That single sentence, you just needed someone, echoes in Arin's mind. It's a truth she's never admitted to herself. Then, Niran does something that completely catches Arin off guard. She leans in, her shoulder brushing against Arin's, the warmth from her coat, the scent of her scarf, it's overwhelming. Arin's pulse skyrockets, but she doesn't pull away. For the first time, she admits her vulnerability out loud. I don't usually let people in, she whispers. Niran's response is gentle and profound. I think you're brave, she says. Arin denies it, saying she's just used to being alone. But Niran looks her straight in the eyes and says something that changes everything. With a look of pure kindness and admiration, Niran reaches out and gently tucks a stray piece of hair behind Arin's ear. The touch is electric. Arin's breath hitches. You don't have to be alone, Niran whispers. Not always. In that moment, Arin's entire world shifts. The ice around her heart doesn't just crack, it begins to melt. She feels a warmth she's never known, a thrilling sense of possibility. The silence between them is no longer just quiet. It's charged with unspoken emotion. And then, the moment we've all been waiting for. Niran leans in slowly and brushes her lips against Arin's. The kiss is delicate, tentative, but utterly real. Arin freezes for a second, then finds herself leaning into it, surrendering to the warmth. The world seems to melt away along with her defenses. Her heart, once a block of ice, is now fluttering, alive and strange. When they pull apart, both are breathless. I didn't know if I could do that, Niran admits, her voice soft. And Arin, the Ice Princess, finally acknowledges her own desire. Me neither, she says, but I'm glad you did. Niran smiles and takes Arin's hand. They sit together, hands intertwined, looking out at the frozen lake. Arin's heart is finally, truly beginning to melt. And that's just part 1 of 8. Can you believe it? My heart is doing flips. What do you think will happen next? Will Arin be able to fully let Niran in, or will her old habits freeze things over again? I honestly can't wait to find out. This story is a perfect example of how AI can create incredibly touching and human narratives. It explores themes of loneliness, vulnerability, and the transformative power of a simple, kind connection. It's a beautiful reminder that sometimes, all it takes is one person with a warm heart and maybe some hot chocolate to break through the ice. You know, it's pretty wild to think that this came from ChatGap. The emotional depth, the pacing, the delicate descriptions, it's all there. It really makes you think about the future of storytelling. What other amazing tales are just waiting to be generated? If you enjoyed this story as much as I did, let me know in the comments. And here is a crazy statistic for you. YouTube analytics tell us that 98% of the people who watch these videos are not subscribed. That is a massive number. If you're part of that 98% and you love stories like this, do me a huge favor and hit that subscribe button. It helps the channel more than you know and ensures you won't miss what comes next. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next video.